Have you ever looked at your fruit bowl and wondered, am I really eating what's best for my body at this age? I mean, fruits are healthy, right? We've been told that since childhood. But what if I told you that some fruits, yes, even the ones that seem harmless, might actually be doing more harm than good once you're past 60? Now don't get me wrong, I love fruit just as much as the next person. There's something comforting about the sweetness of a ripe banana or the tangy bite of a fresh orange. But as we get older, our bodies change, and what worked for us at 30 or 40 might not be doing us any favors now. See, after 60, our digestion slows down a little, blood sugar becomes harder to control, and inflammation creeps in more easily. So it becomes extra important to be mindful of what we put on our plates, especially when it comes to sugar-packed fruits that can spike blood sugar or fruits that can irritate the gut. On the flip side, some fruits can fuel your body with powerful nutrients that help protect your heart, ease joint pain, and even keep your mind sharp. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 fruits you absolutely should include in your diet to stay strong, vibrant, and energized, and 4 fruits you should seriously consider cutting back on or avoiding altogether. You might be surprised by some of the ones on the never touch list. Let's start by focusing on the good stuff, the fruits that do wonders for your health after 60. Now, one fruit that truly deserves a gold star on your plate is the humble blueberry. These little blue gems might look tiny, but they pack a mighty punch. They're full of antioxidants, especially one called anthocyanin, which helps protect your brain and memory. Several studies have actually shown that older adults who eat blueberries regularly have better cognitive function than those who don't. And let's face it, keeping our minds sharp is just as important as keeping our bodies strong. But it doesn't stop there. Blueberries also help fight inflammation, support healthy blood vessels, and improve heart health. Plus, they're low in sugar compared to many other fruits, so they won't send your blood sugar into a frenzy. A handful a day in your oatmeal or yogurt. That's a habit worth building. Now moving on to a fruit that's often overlooked but deserves a place in your kitchen, kiwi. Yep, that fuzzy little fruit you might pass by at the grocery store. Kiwi is a powerhouse for digestion, thanks to an enzyme called actinidin, which helps break down proteins. If you've ever struggled with feeling bloated or having slow digestion, adding kiwi to your diet might offer some real relief. What's more, kiwi is packed with vitamin C, more than an orange, believe it or not, and that's essential for immune health, especially as we age. It's also a gentle fruit for the stomach, making it easier to digest for those who deal with acid reflux or sensitive guts. 1 or 2 kiwis a few times a week can make a real difference. Now, before we go any further, let's address the flip side of the coin. Because while some fruits are your best friends, others can be sneaky troublemakers. And the first one we need to talk about is the seemingly innocent banana. I know, bananas are everywhere. They're easy to eat, convenient, and most of us grew up thinking they're the perfect snack. But here's the thing. Bananas are high in natural sugars and carbs, and they have a high glycemic index. That means they can raise your blood sugar pretty quickly. Now, if you're still very active and your blood sugar is stable, one banana now and then might be fine. But for many people over 60, especially those watching their blood sugar or managing type 2 diabetes, bananas can lead to that crash and burn feeling. You know, that sudden energy burst followed by fatigue and fogginess. Plus, overripe bananas are even worse because the starches turn into sugars as they age. And let's be honest, most of us grab the banana when it's got brown spots on it, right? So while bananas aren't inherently bad, they're not always the best choice if you're looking to stay balanced and energized throughout the day. And here's another one that might surprise you. Grapes. These tiny fruits are sweet, juicy, and so easy to pop in your mouth, but they're also little sugar bombs. Just a small handful of grapes can have as much sugar as a candy bar. And the real danger? It's easy to eat way too many without realizing it. Think about it. How many times have you sat down with a bowl of grapes and suddenly it's empty in 10 minutes? That's the problem. Your blood sugar spikes, insulin kicks in, and not long after you feel tired or hungry again. For seniors trying to manage weight, energy, or even joint pain from inflammation, grapes might be best enjoyed only occasionally and in very small amounts. The key here isn't fear, it's awareness. When we know which fruits nourish us and which ones to be cautious with, we can make smarter choices that support our health, our energy, and even our mood. Because feeling good every day isn't about following strict diets or giving up the foods you love. It's about learning what your body needs at this stage of life. So next time you reach for a snack or plan your meals, think about how it will make you feel, not just in the moment, but an hour later or the next day. That Awareness, that little pause, can be a powerful tool for staying healthy and strong. Now that we've talked about how bananas and grapes, despite their popularity, might not be the best choices for those of us over 60, let's turn our attention back to something more positive. Because the truth is, there are still so many wonderful fruits that can do a world of good for your body, especially at this stage in life. And one of my personal favorites, papaya. You might not hear about it as much as apples or oranges, but let me tell you, papaya is like nature's digestive helper. It contains an enzyme called papain, which aids in breaking down proteins and easing digestion. If you've ever dealt with that heavy, bloated feeling after meals, or just felt like your stomach isn't as quick as it used to be, papaya can be a gentle, natural way to help things move along. But that's not all. Papaya is also rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, and folate, nutrients that are fantastic for boosting immunity, protecting your eyes, and supporting skin health. And the best part? It's low in sugar compared to many other tropical fruits. That means you can enjoy it without the worry of a sugar spike. And here's a little tip I always share. Try eating a few chunks of ripe papaya in the morning, maybe paired with a bit of plain yogurt. Not only is it refreshing, but it gives your digestive system a smooth, gentle start to the day. And when your digestion feels good, everything else seems to fall into place, doesn't it? Now, moving along to another fruit that often flies under the radar but deserves a prime spot on your plate. Apples. Simple, classic, and incredibly powerful. Apples are loaded with fiber, especially if you eat the skin, and that's something most of us don't get enough of. Fiber is essential for keeping your digestion regular, your heart healthy, and even lowering cholesterol levels. But not all apples are created equal. If you're watching your sugar, you might want to go for varieties like Granny Smith, which are lower in natural sugars and have a crisp, tart flavor that can be surprisingly refreshing. And here's a little secret. Eating an apple before a meal can actually help you feel fuller and avoid overeating. It's like nature's appetizer, but with real benefits. And speaking of digestion, let's talk briefly about one more fruit that seniors might want to be cautious with, and that's pineapple. Now, I know pineapple is sweet, juicy, and absolutely delicious. And yes, it has its benefits. It contains bromelain, which can reduce inflammation and aid in digestion. But here's where we need to be careful. Pineapple is also high in sugar and acidity. If you've got sensitive gums, acid reflux, or trouble managing blood sugar, pineapple can sometimes do more harm than good. That acidity can irritate your stomach lining or cause that burning sensation in your chest. And let's be honest, no one needs that kind of discomfort, especially when we're trying to eat healthy. Moderation is key, of course. A few small chunks now and then? Probably fine. But eating large amounts or drinking pineapple juice regularly? That's where it can become a problem, particularly for older adults. Now, since we're on the topic of high-sugar fruits, there's another one that often gets a health halo, but can be problematic if you're not careful. And that's mangoes. I know mangoes are sweet and tropical and often feel like a treat. But that sweetness comes with a cost. A single mango can contain more than 45 grams of sugar. That's more than what's in a can of soda. And because they taste so good, it's easy to eat more than you intended. For seniors trying to manage weight, avoid energy crashes, or deal with joint inflammation, that's a lot of sugar in one go. It doesn't mean you can never enjoy mango again. But maybe save it for special occasions. Or better yet, mix a few small pieces into a larger bowl of mixed fruit with berries or kiwi to balance out the sugar. That way, you still get the flavor without overloading your system. See, the key here isn't about cutting out all sweetness or becoming afraid of fruit. It's about being smart, about choosing the fruits that give you the most bang for your nutritional buck and skipping the ones that work against your goals. Especially at this stage of life, we want every bite to count, right? When you choose fruits that are high in fiber, low in sugar, and rich in antioxidants, you're giving your body the tools it needs to fight aging from the inside out. You're supporting your heart, protecting your memory, keeping your joints happy, and even boosting your mood. And if that isn't worth paying attention to, I don't know what is. But let me ask you, how often do we stop to think about that? When we reach for a snack or fill our grocery cart, most of us just go with habit. We buy what we've always bought. We eat what's easy or familiar. But a small shift in awareness, just knowing which fruits help and which hurt, can lead to big improvements in how we feel day to day. So the next time you're walking through the produce aisle, I want you to remember this. Every piece of fruit you choose is either moving you closer to better health or pulling you away from it. And the best part, the choice is 100% in your hands. Now that we've looked at how simple changes like swapping out high-sugar fruits can make such a difference, let's take a moment to focus on another powerhouse fruit that truly deserves a regular spot in your kitchen: berries. Whether you prefer blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, or raspberries, they're all little miracles wrapped in vibrant color. And the best part? They're as tasty as they are beneficial. Berries are packed with antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which give them their deep color and help fight off the oxidative stress that can damage your cells over time. That means they're working behind the scenes to protect your memory, support heart health, and even keep your skin looking a little more youthful. Yes, really. Plus, berries are one of the lowest sugar fruits out there. You can enjoy a nice handful without worrying about blood sugar spikes or feeling sluggish afterward. And because they're so high in fiber, they also help keep your digestion moving and your gut happy. If you've ever dealt with constipation or just that uncomfortable bloated feeling, you know how important that can be. But there's one more reason I love recommending berries to folks over 60. They're incredibly versatile. You can toss them into oatmeal, sprinkle them on yogurt, add them to a smoothie, or just eat them fresh by the handful. They're simple, satisfying, and seriously good for you. Now, while we're on the subject of what to add, we also have to keep shining a light on the fruits that may not serve you quite as well. And one that surprises a lot of people is watermelon. I know on a hot day there's nothing quite as refreshing, and sure, it's mostly water, which sounds like a great thing. But here's what many don't realize. Watermelon has a very high glycemic index. That means it causes a rapid spike in your blood sugar, followed by a quick crash, and that can leave you feeling tired, foggy, or even a little irritable. Not to mention, that kind of sugar roller coaster isn't doing your long-term health any favors, especially if you're managing conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure. A small slice on occasion? Sure, enjoy it. But making watermelon a daily treat, especially in large portions, can silently chip away at your energy, focus, and even your waistline. Now let's flip the coin again and talk about another fruit that's great to add to your routine, especially for folks looking to protect their bones and joints. And that fruit is the humble kiwi. Don't let its small size fool you. Kiwi is loaded with vitamin C, more than an orange in fact. And that matters because vitamin C is crucial not just for your immune system, but for producing collagen. Collagen keeps your joints flexible, your skin elastic, and your bones strong. Kiwi is also high in potassium, which helps balance sodium levels and keeps your blood pressure in check. It even contains actinidin, a natural enzyme that helps break down food and support digestion, something many of us need a little help with as we age. And here's a bonus. If you're someone who struggles with sleep, kiwi might actually help. Some studies suggest that eating 1 or 2 kiwis before bed may improve sleep quality thanks to its serotonin content. Imagine that. Better sleep just from enjoying a little fruit. Now, that's a win-win. But as we talk about adding all these good things into our diets, we also need to talk about another fruit that seems innocent but can sneakily add stress to your body: dried fruits. That includes dried apricots, raisins, dates, and even dried cranberries. And while they might seem like a quick, healthy snack, they're often concentrated with sugar and calories. Take raisins, for example. A tiny handful might not seem like much, but it can pack in the sugar equivalent of eating a full-size candy bar. Not to mention, many dried fruits are coated in added sugar or treated with sulfites to preserve their color, which can trigger headaches or digestion issues in sensitive folks. And because they're so small and chewy, it's easy to overdo it. You think you're just munching on a little snack, but in reality, you've just eaten the equivalent of several whole pieces of fruit in one sitting. That can sneak up on you, especially when it comes to blood sugar, weight gain, and joint inflammation. So here's the rule I always share with friends. If you're going to enjoy dried fruit, make it a treat, not a staple, and read those labels. Go for the unsweetened organic kind if you can find it, and try to pair it with a protein like nuts to help slow the sugar absorption. See, all of this isn't about being strict or scared of food. It's about clarity, knowing which choices help you feel strong, vibrant, and clear-headed, and which ones might be slowly dragging you down without you realizing it. When you fill your plate with smart, nourishing fruits like papaya, apples, berries, and kiwi, you're sending a message to your body that says, "Hey, I'm here to take care of you." And your body listens. You feel more energized, your digestion improves, your sleep gets deeper, and even those little aches and pains start to ease up. It doesn't take a big overhaul, it just takes small, thoughtful changes made consistently. Because every meal is a chance to either support your health or challenge it. And after 60, the stakes are higher, but so are the rewards. You deserve to feel good. You deserve clarity, strength, and calm, and the right fruits, eaten at the right times and in the right portions, can help you get there one bite at a time. And now that we've really opened the door to how much control you actually have over how you feel every single day, let's keep going. Because there's one more fruit that might be sitting in your fridge right now, or tucked away in your fruit basket. That needs a closer look. It's sweet, juicy, and a favorite in smoothies, but for seniors it might be doing more harm than good. I'm talking about pineapple. Now I know pineapple feels like a tropical treat, and it's refreshing and bursting with flavor, but it also comes with a sharp spike of natural sugar. Even though it's not artificially sweetened, its glycemic load can still be high, meaning it sends your blood sugar soaring and then crashing right back down. For younger folks with active metabolisms, that's not usually a big deal. But for those of us over 60, whose bodies process sugar more slowly and often less efficiently, that crash can feel like an energy nosedive. You know the feeling. You were fine 1 minute, then suddenly you're tired, maybe even a little dizzy, or foggy. That's often your blood sugar speaking. Plus, pineapple contains a natural compound called bromelain, which in small amounts can be helpful. It's actually anti-inflammatory. But for some people, especially those with sensitive stomachs or acid reflux, pineapple's acidity can stir up digestive trouble. If you've ever felt a little heartburn after a few bites, now you know why. That's why I always recommend being mindful with pineapple. A few small chunks as part of a meal, fine. But making it a daily go-to fruit? Maybe not the best idea, especially when there are so many better options that are gentler on your system and just as delicious. Which brings us to a fruit that's highly underrated but an absolute gift to your heart, your brain, and your longevity. Avocado. Yes, it's a fruit. Most of us think of it as a vegetable because it's creamy and not sweet, but technically it belongs in the fruit family. And honestly, it's one of the best you can eat, especially as you age. Avocados are packed with healthy monounsaturated fats which help reduce bad cholesterol, lower inflammation, and support heart health. And as we age, protecting your heart becomes priority number one. After all, a strong heart means better circulation, more energy, and a lower risk of stroke or heart disease. But the magic of avocados doesn't stop there. They're also rich in potassium. Yes, even more than bananas. That potassium helps your muscles function properly, keeps your nerves in check, and balances fluid levels in your body, which is so important if you're managing blood pressure or swelling in the legs and ankles. And here's the real kicker. Avocados are full of fiber. Just half of one can give you nearly 7 grams. That's great news for digestion, blood sugar, regulation, and yes, even weight control. Because when you feel full and satisfied, you're less likely to snack on those sugary processed foods that can throw everything out of whack. Now let's say you've already added apples and berries to your breakfast routine. Maybe you've been slicing kiwi into your yogurt and spreading avocado on your whole grain toast. That's a fantastic start. But the truth is, we don't just want to add good things, we also want to stay alert about what could quietly work against us. And one of those sneaky culprits is fruit juice. I know, it doesn't feel fair, does it? After all, it comes from fruit, it looks healthy, it sounds healthy. But here's the reality. Fruit juice is one of the quickest ways to overload your body with sugar without even realizing it. Think about it. When you eat a whole orange, you're also getting fiber, which slows the release of sugar into your bloodstream. But when you drink orange juice, even the 100% kind, you're often getting the sugar of 3, 4, or even 5 oranges in a single glass, without the fiber to balance it out. That means your blood sugar spikes almost immediately. And over time, repeated spikes like that can wear down your insulin response, drain your energy, and increase the risk of type 2 diabetes, all without you ever feeling like you were doing anything wrong. And it's not just orange juice. Apple juice, grape juice, even blends marketed as antioxidant-rich or immune-boosting, most of them are just sugar in a fancy bottle. They're sweet, yes, but they don't provide the same slow-release energy or nourishment that whole fruits do. If you love juice, here's what I tell my friends. Dilute it. Mix half juice, half water, or even sparkling water for that same fruity flavor with less sugar. Or better yet, swap juice for a smoothie made with whole fruit and fiber. That way you keep the good stuff in and leave the sugar crash behind. See, the more you understand your body, the more you start to feel the difference between real energy and fake energy. Real energy comes from foods that fuel your cells slowly and steadily. Foods like fiber-rich fruits, healthy fats, and antioxidant powerhouses. Fake energy comes from sugar spikes that trick you into feeling good for a moment, then leave you worse off than before. And over time, those choices build up. They shape your day, your energy, your mental clarity, but most importantly, they shape how you feel about yourself. There's something deeply empowering about knowing that every piece of fruit you put on your plate is either supporting your body or stressing it. That doesn't mean being afraid of food or living by strict rules. It means listening, being aware, and making small, loving decisions that honor where you are in life and where you want to go. And if that sounds like a big shift, take heart. You don't need to do everything at once. Just start with one thing. Maybe it's swapping juice for water today. Maybe it's skipping the dried apricots and reaching for a handful of blueberries. Maybe it's choosing a ripe avocado over a few slices of watermelon. Every little step counts. And it adds up faster than you think. Because after 60, the goal isn't to chase youth, it's to embrace health. It's to feel good in your body, sharp in your mind, and steady in your step. And the food you eat, especially the fruits you choose, can either be your ally or your obstacle. And when you know which ones to reach for and which to skip, you stop guessing and start thriving. So now that we've untangled some of the biggest fruit myths, what to enjoy, what to limit, you might be wondering, well, where do I go from here? And that's such an important question, because the real goal isn't just knowing which fruits are helpful or harmful. It's using that knowledge to create a routine that actually supports your body, your mind, and your overall well-being every single day. Let's start with what this might actually look like. Imagine waking up in the morning, not sluggish, not foggy, but with a lightness in your body and clarity in your mind. You shuffle into the kitchen, and instead of grabbing a glass of sugary juice or a piece of toast with jam, you slice up half an avocado, mash it on some whole grain toast, and sprinkle it with a little lemon and sea salt. That combination, it's not just delicious, it's stabilizing. It gives your body lasting fuel, healthy fat for your brain, and potassium to support your heart and muscles. Then, maybe mid-morning, instead of snacking on some dried mango or reaching for a sweetened yogurt, you go for a bowl of fresh blueberries or sliced strawberries. They're naturally sweet, but they're also brimming with antioxidants, little warriors that fight inflammation, oxidative stress, and even help keep your memory sharp. And by the time lunch rolls around, your energy is still steady, your digestion feels light, and your mood calm and focused. That's not magic, it's just the power of smart fruit choices. And here's the beautiful part. These little habits compound. When you support your blood sugar, your energy stays more stable throughout the day. When your digestion is working well, your body can absorb nutrients better. And when inflammation is kept in check, everything from your joints to your brain feels better. But let's not stop at just the physical benefits, because how you eat also impacts your emotional health. When you make food choices that align with how you want to feel, something shifts inside. You begin to trust yourself again. You feel more in control. You stop feeling like your body is betraying you and start feeling like you're in partnership with it. I can't tell you how many seniors I've spoken to who thought it was just aging that made them feel tired, bloated, forgetful, or irritable. But when they started removing just 1 or 2 high-sugar fruits or juices from their diet and replaced them with steady, fiber-rich options like berries or apples, they were shocked at the difference. And no, this doesn't mean you have to swear off every sweet treat or juicy slice forever. If it's your birthday and you want some pineapple on your cake, enjoy it. If it's a summer picnic and someone brings watermelon, have a slice. But make those moments the exception, not the rule. Let your everyday choices be the ones that love you back. Think of it this way. Every time you eat, you're either feeding disease or feeding health. There's no in-between. And when you're over 60, your body is a little more sensitive. It communicates more clearly. So if you feel tired after eating something, or notice more joint stiffness or brain fog, that's not just coincidence. It's a message. And the good news, you get to respond to that message with love, care, and action. One of the best parts of this stage of life is that you're allowed to slow down, to pay attention, to be thoughtful about what you eat. You've earned the right to care for yourself like never before, not out of fear, but out of respect. Your body may have changed, but it's still yours, and it still responds beautifully to real nourishment. That's why even small adjustments can make you feel like you've turned back the clock. More energy in the morning, less stiffness in your legs, clearer thoughts when reading or chatting with family, even more stable emotions throughout the day. Food isn't everything, but when it comes to aging gracefully, it's one of your most powerful tools. So next time you're in the produce aisle, think of this conversation. Reach for those apples that help clean your gut and balance your blood sugar. Pick up the avocados that support your heart and brain. Toss some frozen berries in your cart to add to breakfast or a midday snack. And when your hand reaches for those overly sweet fruits or when you see a bottle of all-natural fruit juice that looks tempting, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me feel stronger, sharper, happier? If the answer isn't a solid yes, maybe let it go, because you deserve to feel your best. Not just sometimes, but every day. And if no one has told you this lately, let me be the one to say it loud and clear. You are not too old to improve your health. You're not too far gone. It is never too late to feel better than you do today. One good decision leads to another, and that next step, it starts with something as simple as a piece of fruit. So give your body what it really needs. Choose fruits that fuel you, that stabilize you, that support your journey, not just through aging, but through living. And if this message has encouraged you or reminded you of something important, I hope you'll take a moment to let me know in the comments. Share what fruit swaps you're making, or how you've noticed changes in your energy and health. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want more simple, supportive tips that honor your health after 60. We're in this together, and every step counts. Here's to making those steps sweeter and stronger, one bite at a time. Now let's take a step back and breathe this in for a moment. You've just learned how powerful something as simple as fruit, yes, fruit, can be for your health. And I'm not just talking about adding years to your life. I'm talking about adding life to your years. Energy, clarity, strength, and even joy. These aren't things we have to give up after 60. In fact, this is the time we need them the most. The truth is, aging isn't about decline. It's about becoming wiser, more intentional, and more connected to what truly matters. And what you choose to put on your plate is a daily opportunity to reinforce that mindset. I've seen it time and time again. Someone in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who decides, I'm going to change how I eat. Not for a diet, not for anyone else, but because I want to feel better in my own skin. And the shift is incredible. A little more bounce in their step, fewer aches, brighter eyes, a sense of confidence that grows with every small win. And it all started with paying attention to something as everyday as fruit. It's easy to overlook, isn't it? We're told for years that fruit is healthy, period, no questions asked. But once you understand that not all fruits serve the same purpose, and that some can actually make things worse for your energy, your blood sugar, or your joints, that's when you reclaim your power. And it's not about restriction, it's about selection, choosing the fruits that love you back, the ones that support your digestion, that help keep inflammation low, that feed your brain the nutrients it needs to stay sharp, that give your heart the potassium and fiber it needs to beat strong and steady. Let's be real, your body doesn't need extremes. It doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to pay attention, to listen, and to adjust when something isn't working anymore. That's the wisdom of aging, and that's what you've been doing with me through this entire conversation. So here's my encouragement to you. Trust that you can feel better. If you've been living with constant fatigue or brain fog or joint pain or unstable blood sugar, don't accept that as your new normal. Don't chalk it up to just getting older. Your body is still incredibly capable of healing and restoring. It just needs the right support. And support doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as swapping out the grapes and watermelon for some apple slices with cinnamon, or skipping the orange juice in the morning and having a small avocado with breakfast instead, or tossing some blueberries into your oatmeal instead of pouring syrup on top. These may seem like little changes, but they add up, because when you feel better physically, it affects everything. You're more likely to move your body, to laugh with friends, to get outside for a walk, to play with your grandkids, to take care of your responsibilities with energy and peace. One small fruit decision can ripple out into a better day, and better days make up a better life. I know you've heard this before, but I want you to feel it this time. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to feel energized, clear-minded, and hopeful about the future. You've lived through so much. Why not give yourself the gift of feeling vibrant and alive? And I'll say this too. If you ever feel overwhelmed by all the health information out there, remember this. Keep it simple. Stick with whole, natural foods. Avoid anything overly sweet, processed, or too good to be true. And most importantly, pay attention to how your body responds. You're the expert on how you feel. Trust that inner wisdom. It's been with you all along. If you've made it to this point in the video, I want to thank you. Really, thank you for taking your health seriously. Thank you for spending this time learning, reflecting, and growing. It means the world to me that you're here, and if this video helped you even just a little, I'd love for you to share it with someone else who might benefit too. Maybe a friend, a sibling, or even one of your children or grandchildren. Health is one of the greatest gifts we can share. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one fruit you're going to start including more in your daily routine, or maybe one that you're realizing you need to cut back on? Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. I read every single one and love connecting with you. Don't forget to give this video a like, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We've got more easy, empowering, and uplifting health tips coming your way, always focused on helping you live better, stronger, and happier after 60. Here's to living with clarity, purpose, and strength. One bite, one breath, and one beautiful day at a time. You've got this, and I'll be here cheering you on every step of the way.